Hey guys, welcome to the Sim Racing Paddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going to be doing a review on the CreoSim MPS-17 magnetic paddle shifters. So the MPS obviously stands for magnetic paddle shifters, and this is the 2017 model. Now, if you guys remember some of my previous streams where I talked about them, I was previously using the MPS-15s, which are these paddle shifters. These were metal design, and they work pretty well. So you can see it's a full metal on the MPS-15. And for the MPS-17, they decided to go with 3D printing, and they used a carbon reinforced PLA composite. So for this, they were able to, I think, cut the price in almost half. And basically, I like magnetic paddle shifters. They work great. And I wanted to test out with the 3D printing to see if it does hold up after solid use. And let's talk about this first. So one of the things I love about this specific mod is it's literally plug and play and does not affect the functionality of the wheel whatsoever. So under the back plate, hold on, I'm just going to cover up the serial number. So under this back plate where I'm pointing, we have the two screws. So in the front, you see these two tiny screws, and basically this requires a 2mm Allen wrench. And it's kind of funny, I had a 1.5mm wrench and a 2.5mm wrench. Somehow I lost my 2mm wrench, so I had to run to Lowe's and grab another wrench. But yeah, it's life. So grab a 2mm Allen wrench, and then a Phillips head screwdriver, because there are some screws in the side. So you can see those are Phillips screws that you run through the side and screw it into the rim. And then you also are highly recommended to use needle nose pliers to disconnect and connect the electrical wires, because they are very fragile and you don't want to break them. So it's actually quite simple to remove the paddle shifters and add these new ones, and they feel great. I really like this, the feel. One of the things I was nervous about with the 3D printed design is 3D printing tends to be pretty rough. I've had a few 3D printed products and they were a little on the rougher side, but this actually feels pretty smooth to the touch. I don't feel any like abrasion or anything. I could really get used to this feel. I don't think it's as nice a feel as the magnetic paddle shifters. I prefer this. Also, one thing to note is the sound. These paddle shifters are quieter than these MPS-15s. So if you listen to the MPS-15, very solid clicky feel. Listen to this in comparison. And it's quite a bit quieter. And it's okay. It's definitely a very solid feel. Requires less force to depress the paddle shifter though. Less force to depress that shifter. And my theory is because this is 3D printed, there is less area for the magnet to cover. So requires less force. But if you look on the shifter, so you'll see 4 magnets. Oh, hold on a second. Just realized that's backwards. But low sound, thanks for subscribing. And yeah, I am still wearing the shirts. Still have to represent the Sharks, man. I mean, sure, they're eliminated, but hey, Sharks for life. But yeah, so there are 4 magnets. 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. You might not be able to see the inside ones as well. What's nice though is if you want a little bit of a softer shifting feel, you can take out the magnet. And then it's a lighter pull for the shifter. I prefer a heavier pull, so you can just put the magnets back on like so, and you're good to go. So one other thing I want to mention is the price. So I'm in America, and unfortunately, from what I heard is that CreoSim is going to go on a temporary hiatus for production. Apparently, the owner has some personal things going on, and he is basically going to go on a hiatus. So once these 30 remaining or so are out of stock, that's end of stock for the near future. And then I'm guessing once things get sorted out for him, he might put out the MPS-17. You can see it currently, it is 35% off. So, for example, 47 euros for this. 47 euros for these paddle shifters, and it includes all the hardware to mount. You just need to supply the Allen wrench, needle nose pliers, and Phillips head screwdriver. And for this price, if you have a Fanatic Formula rim, universal hub, this might be a no-brainer. I think this is a no-brainer. I really like the feel of these paddle shifters, and let's not just let me talk about it. Let's fire up Assetto Corsa and do some test driving. There we go. So, now we got the dash working. And let's talk about... Oh, wait. I have it set to speaker, so let me just switch that. I don't need headphones. There we go. Okay. That should be... let me know if it sounds too loud, but it should be alright right now. So, yeah, these paddle shifters, very quick throw, which is nice for the shifting. Very strong force feedback though, even at 30%. Oh man, this car's heavy steering. Let's throw in some of that first. But honestly, I like the throw of this better than the MPS-15s. Sure, you can't customize the throw of this shifter, which is a little frustrating, but you can actually it has a good feel. It might come down to personal preference. I'd say it has maybe an inch and a half of throw, or maybe an inch of throw. Actually, that sounds a little too far. Maybe like half inch, but it's working. It's good feel. Very, very tactile and very, very solid feeling. And you know when you shifted. That's the nice part of this. This is a nice paddle shifter. You're not going to be like, oh, did I shift there? You're going to know when you shift, because you can almost preload, like add a little bit of force and then boom, shift. Oh man, this is heavy. The very responsive paddles, and they feel quite durable. I was stress testing a bit, and okay, note to self, that was too strong. Don't do burnouts in an LMP car, guys. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that I was stress testing these paddles, and yeah, these will put up to quite a bit of abuse. When I heard a little bit of creaking, I was almost doing a full grip on that paddle. You're never going to use that. But these are technically plastic. They're strong plastic, but they are plastic, so theoretically, if you put way too much force or threw your rim against the wall in anger, then theoretically these could snap. But they'll never break under normal use. I will basically guarantee you that. These feel rock solid. And let's talk about who I would recommend these specific paddle shifters for, because there are quite a few magnetic paddle shifters on the market. There are the MPS-17s, these ones. Asher Racing also has their own magnetic paddle shifters, and Sim Racing Machines, they have their own paddle shifter, which is a carbon fiber paddle shifter, which I will be reviewing on my Universal Hub. So I will be testing that out later on. So what are these good for? And I'd say one of the best examples is if you are looking for a magnetic paddle shifter that is a little on the quieter side, because these are maybe half or even a quarter of the volume of the MPS-15s. These are quieter, but you still get that very tactile magnetic paddle shifter feel. And that is one of the best benefits of these MPS-17s. Also, these are a reduced price. They're only $50, or $50 US roughly. And that's a steal. And if you're interested in getting one of the last batches of these, the link's below in the description, CreoSim.com, and it's the MPS-17s. And I really like these feel, and these are going to stay on my Formula rim. I really like these. I think magnetic paddle shifters are one of the best mods you can put on one of Fanatec's rims. Their paddle shifters with the Fanatic rim are pretty good, but the feeling, that ability to preload and feel exactly that shift point is invaluable for being able to have a solid responsive shifting experience. And I think these are one of the best mods you can put on a Fanatic rim. So, do you guys have any of your own magnetic paddle shifters on Fanatic rims? It's interesting. I really like these. So, yeah, Luke, these specific mods are just designed for Fanatic rims. There are other manufacturers like Asher Racing, I think, that make universal paddle shifters. But as far as I know, Thrustmaster doesn't have any. Logitech, they might, because you can mod almost anything on a Logitech wheel. But this specific one is designed for specific Fanatic rims. This is designed for the Formula rim, Universal hub, and I believe it's also designed for the Porsche 919 rim. But yeah, so bottom line, I recommend these. And yeah, so hold on a second. There we go. So yeah, check them out if you're interested. And remember, at the time of this review, there's only 30 left. But yeah, I recommend these. So thanks for watching the review, guys. And for the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a great rest of your day.